Hey, I've got a question for you today on Daily Hope. How would you like to live in utmost bliss? We're going to start into a sermon by Jesus that's popularly referred to as, quote, the Beatitudes. What does the Beatitudes mean? Well, I didn't know, so I looked it up. It comes from the Latin word for bliss or happiness. Maybe you've heard this before where Jesus says, blessed are those who, and that word blessed is the Greek word makarios, which means happy. Happy are those who go through suffering. Happy are those who are poor. Happy are those who are downtrodden. And that's the introduction of probably Jesus' most famous sermon, which is called the Beatitudes. Now, typically, we read the Beatitudes in Matthew chapters 5 through 7. I'm going to read it to you now from the Gospel of Luke, and they're, I would guess, about 80% the same. They're slightly different, but they're mostly the same, and there's two different theories for this. One is, well, Matthew took notes and Luke took notes, and they're a little different. I prefer the theory that Jesus gave this sermon more than one time, and this would have been customary for rabbis at the time. They didn't just preach a sermon one time like we do in America and then on to the next one. If they had a really good message, they'd repeat it. And especially with a ministry like Jesus where he's traveling around, there's new audiences, there's different people, or maybe he's got disciples like Peter who need to hear it more than once like I do. And so that's the second theory for why Matthew and Luke both have this same sermon called the Beatitudes, and it's written almost identical but a little different in a few places. Now I want to set the scene. It's where we were yesterday, that Jesus is coming down from a mountain. There's a large plateau and crowds of people from the local metropolis, from the whole county, and from two neighboring areas have all come, and they're pressing around Jesus. Verse 19 said, everyone tried to touch him because healing power went out from him, and he healed everyone. And then the start of verse 20, then Jesus turned to his disciples and said. We'll pick up there tomorrow with what the older translations say, blessed are, and some modern translations say happy are. And we're in the New Living, it's going to say God blesses those who. But it's that Greek word makarios, which means not just temporary happiness, it means a state of ongoing, perpetual, what we would sometimes call joy. Bliss. It's the blissful life. I love this summary. It says, Beatitudes refer to a state of complete happiness or blessedness, often associated with being blessed by God. So as we prepare our hearts these next few days to go into the Beatitudes, we all want a perpetual state of happiness and complete blessedness, but we're not going to like some of the things we hear. So let's just keep in mind, as Jesus says some difficult things, that his goal is if we will align our values to his, it will actually lead us to more contentment, a more blessed and happy life than if we do life our way. Okay, let's surrender that to him today. I'll see you tomorrow.